I think I'm gonna get laid off today.
I got laid off this morning. I wasn't expecting it.
I was laid off 6 weeks and 5 days ago. This is my unemployment journey.
What's up, financial hawks? So in today's video, we're going to be going over more job layoffs, more corporate layoffs. It looks like you guys were liking those videos as well as the tech videos or tech layoffs. Because again, tech isn't the only, field getting laid off. Plethora of different fields right now. So I think the first one is going to be a tech layoff, but the other ones are like in different fields. Again, kind of just showing other aspects or other people in how they're dealing with being laid off and how they got laid off. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with this first one. But yeah, it is definitely tough. I know it definitely is a tough time right now for a lot of people. And if you are going through that right now, I definitely wish you the best, where you can keep on grinding and hopefully you can get that next job. I know we got Halloween coming up and then Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we got a lot of big things coming up. So hopefully you can get something soon. I really do. But let's go ahead and start out with this first one. And yeah, we'll take it from there.
I pretty much saw it coming because
I'm literally shaking right now.
So I got laid off. I pretty much saw it coming because I had my performance review canceled the week before. And the morning of, my manager messaged me asking if everything was good for the rest of the week. And I enthusiastically responded, everything's good for the rest of the month. HR said that it was not for cause, meaning it was nothing that I did or didn't do. The role just doesn't exist anymore. So my role got phased out. They're replacing it with a new role that's essentially the same thing, but with expanded responsibilities. It just sucks because I thought that new role was going to be mine. They told me they were going to change my job title and expand my job responsibilities. We had like a 30, 60, 90-day plan to acclimate me to the new responsibilities, but obviously I got laid off 15 days in. So wrapping up at this job, I do need to return my laptop. I do get severance, and I'm trying to take advantage of the rest of my benefits for the rest of the year. Moving forward, I'm obviously going to be looking for a job that's my level or a little bit higher, like a senior level position, making $80,000 a year or more. Fully remote, of course, because I'd rather be unemployed than go back in office. The thing is, I probably can't find another full-time job until the new year because I'm going to be traveling internationally for the next 4 to 5 months. I'm not totally jobless. I still have my second almost full-time job working as a call center rep, but it's not my 9 to 5. You know what I mean? It's not my career. And I'm actually deciding if I want to take a little bit more time because first of all, I was burnt out as fuck. And second, I may want to pursue some of the side quests that I've been meaning to get into. I have a really random goal of hitting 100 jobs in my lifetime. In the meantime, I'm going to be working to build up my side income so that it'll eventually meet what I was making my full-time job. So if you're curious about that, that's going to be a little bit of a series where I try to figure out how to make close to $7,000 a month through my side hustles. But overall, I'm feeling very glass half full about the situation, not to be corny, but I feel like the universe makes it so everything always works out the way that it's supposed to. I actually was going to quit the job on the Thursday before I got laid off. Like I literally booked a spontaneous meeting with my manager. I was FaceTiming with my friends, asking everyone what I should say. And during the conversation, everything seemed to be working out. So I was like, doesn't seem like the right time to leave. Then I got laid off on the Monday, which was actually better because instead of having to put in a 2 weeks notice and then continue to work for 2 weeks, I actually got severance for a couple weeks. Here's to week 1 of celebrating unemployment.
I'm literally shaking.
All right,
now.
guys. So we've seen the first video. Yeah. I guess if you get in a situation like that where you get laid off, but you have like a second or third job, I guess getting laid off doesn't feel as bad. Initially, I felt bad. I'm like, dang, she just got laid off. But it looks like she was actually ready to get laid off, which is crazy. But I talked about this a lot on this channel, but the importance of having multiple sources of income can help out so freaking much. And as you've seen from this video, even though she did get laid off, she's lucky that she's also getting a severance package. So, she'll have some money for some months, but also doing the call rep stuff, making some money that way. And then like she has some other side jobs, side gigs that she's also making money on. I think that's also, important, just to have, especially nowadays. I'm a big proponent of having multiple sources of income. So if you do lose your job, you're not having just $0 coming in. Severance package is great, but everybody's not going to get that. She is in tech, so she got that. But again, not everybody's going to get that. So I just recommend just hoping that you'll get that and then you'll be set. Don't have any type of side income. Definitely try to do that. Again, YouTube is another good aspect or another good way that you can make side income. It is hard though, social media can be hard, but especially YouTube, it will sometimes take you a while, take you maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years before you can even get $1. So kind of just giving you a heads up that if you do want to do a YouTube channel, a great time is again when you're like in school or when you have a job. And doing that on the side is not, it can be bad for you if you don't have any type of income and you're just start a new YouTube channel and you're trying to get it then, you may seem more desperate and things may not necessarily work out for you. But if you already have a job and you kind of do it on the side, growing it that way is easier. Or again, if you're younger and you're in school, that's a good time. Another big thing she talked about too was that she's going to not, she doesn't want to have to work for a job in the office now, and she would rather stay unemployed throughout this whole time. Okay. Now, for her, initially when I heard that, I'm like, okay, I really don't feel bad that you got laid off. Like, you're not trying to put that grind in to get that second job, but she has other income coming in. So it's not like she's desperate for a job. And that's the difference. You can have like preferences like that and whatnot. If you have, again, money coming in, she's already going to be taking some trips, 4 to 5 months as well. So she got a lot going on. But again, having that money on the side or from the other side hustles to help out with that and that call rep job can put you in that position. So good luck for that. I know a lot of people are in that position. I'm definitely not, in that position as well. Just to be like, and all the side money coming in, just doing, whatever for X amount of months. And probably the severance package also helps out as well with that too. But if you are in that position, yeah, you having preferences for different things like that kind of, can make sense. But if you're not, and you have $0 coming in, I recommend you going to the office. It is what it is. But if you have that luxury and have maybe the money on the side that you can wait for that, then hey, it's a little different. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and play the second video.
Everything, what sucks the most when you are unemployed and you have been working your whole life and suddenly with the layoff everything changes. Sunday night sucks because from Monday your grind for searching a new job starts again. Your grind for being independent again begins. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. And that's more the reality of a lot of people, losing their job. First person, again, they had that luxury of having additional income, but for a lot of people, they don't. And this is what it is. Or you may have additional income, but it isn't enough to replace your current job. And maybe you're working towards that and you may lose your job. And that's unfortunate. But I feel like she had genuine tears, so genuine sadness. And yeah, I know when I was like looking heavily for jobs, that Sunday to Monday can definitely hit you a lot because you really want to grind. But yeah, you feel that tension. I guess for me, it was a little bit different again because I was, I was still making money. I was still working and trying to find like another job. But if you have no job, I know that sinking feeling is really there. Yeah, man, that sucks. But I think this is definitely more of a reality that a lot of people are definitely facing. And yeah, on this, the best thing again is to keep a home grind and keep on fighting and just don't give up. Just don't give up. Cause I know it's so easy to. It's so easy, like, man, F it. I'm not gonna do anything on Monday. Play the game. Tuesday comes, I'm not gonna do anything today. I'm gonna just chill. Wednesday comes, and then you're hitting Friday, and you're like, okay, I messed up this week, but I'm gonna for sure try next week. And then usually that cycle continues, and you're really in a bad place. But hopefully she can get a job soon. I'm trying to find more recent videos for you guys, and this was another recent one. But yeah, I know that definitely sucks.
So I just got laid off of my job of 4+ years on Friday, and I will be laughing and making videos through the pain for the next few weeks. But then I started thinking, I was like, what do I really want to do with my life? Like, genuinely. And the answer would probably be work with animals or do something creative. I'm creative in my bones, to my core. Like, it's shown in my house. It's shown in my past. Like, I used to make videos growing up and taking photos and shit. And I want to get back to my roots because that's where I thrive, is in creativity. And that office job just sucked the soul right the fuck out of me. So I'm going to be taking this time to really dive deep in my creativity and post as much content as I can and just see where this takes me. Could be fun. You never know.
Okay. So that's a different, I like that perspective as well. She's optimistic after losing her job, of 4 years. I know that sucks. You've been working for a company, for a place for 4 years. That is a long time. You probably know everybody there by then, or at least a good amount of the people in your department, at least, even the new people by then, and then getting laid off. But I do like her optimism. I will say that. I do like the optimism. And, she's thinking about doing multiple, different, creative things. Now, for me, this can go both ways because a lot of people want to do something creative. Oh, I want to do X, Y, Z, and like it never comes into fruition. Hoping the best that it can happen for her, but I see a lot of people do that. Or say, "Eh, I'm gonna do something creative," and like they don't do anything at all. They actually don't end up doing anything at all, really. Now, I do like that she says she's going to be using this time to produce, I think, as much content as she can. Now, that's smart. That is smart. That is smart. When you do have that free time, if you're really grinding out those videos like she says she's going to do, then that's smart. Now, if you're applying to different jobs and whatnot, and you're still grinding, on the social media, on the side as well, producing those videos out, then yeah, I can see, maybe something coming. And if again, let's say you're applying to different jobs and you're also grinding out videos, like with having the extra 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, a day for having your job for 8 hours and maybe an hour lunch and then maybe 30 minutes to the job and then 30 minutes back. That's like 10 hours. With that extra 10 hours, if you're really using that to not only apply to jobs, but also be creative, I think that's a good combo. Because if you don't make it on your creative side, by the time you get a new job, you would have at least grown a base, like somewhat of a fan base or subscribers or something along those lines. And not only that, you'll get better at talking and whatnot. You'll producing all these videos, probably get better at editing, and you probably find the flow of how you want to run things, which is good. So then while you're working, your 9 to 5, you'll be able to more easily create videos and content because you kind of already have like a formula you can follow. So again, I'm wishing her the best on the ending of that. If she's really going to use this time to grind out some videos and grind out content, then hey, she may be on to something. I did like hearing that. Some other stuff are kind of going in and out, but I do like that ending. And to me, that kind of sounded a little bit promising. So we'll see. But I like that grind, or I like when people have that grind. So hopefully she's not wasting her 8-10 hours, a day. If you're getting that time, I still, you can put an hour or two grinding on interviews or grinding on applying to jobs. And you know what? That's another thing real quick too. This is some other good advice. This is some good advice for people who are looking for jobs. The timing of you applying to jobs is very important, especially depending on the field that you're in. Like if you're in tech, for example, you want to for sure try to get in the job within like that first hour, maybe two. Again, when it's not that many people, not that many applicants. If you get in there before 100, that is really good. If you can talk to a recruiter before they get to 100, that is also very good. And I've seen that a lot. I've seen jobs on LinkedIn where I will get like a notification and I will go to the notification from my email talking about, hey, 3 or 4 jobs for looking for people. Click on it. And then when you go to the page, it's already closed because they closed it down. And you see that they closed it down or like an hour or two, or like after they got the 100 applicants or the first hour or so of people. I've seen how quick it can be. So if you can get in, within that first hour before the first 100 people, you do have a higher chance on a lot of these different jobs. And again, it also depends on what platform you're using, of course. But on LinkedIn, I have seen them close it down quickly. I've seen them, close these jobs down quickly. So if you just want to, higher chance being able to get in there right when it opens up is good. So you had to think of like, okay, when are HR people posting these jobs? And I said morning time, like 8-7 o'clock your time, 7 to 9. If you can kind of just stay active, that's good. Maybe 7 to 10, 7 to 11, kind of just 7 to 9, staying very active, and then maybe 9 to 11, you don't have to stay so, as active. I think that will give you a higher chance. But especially when recruiters or these HR people are, posting these things, they're probably going to be posting it when they wake up and they get to their job. So they wake up, get to their job, like, okay, we're starting this job up. And then they're posting it. So you got to kind of like think like that. Like if they're getting there like at 7, 8 o'clock, you may be seeing posts 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. So, kind of just some good advice right there if you're looking to.
Hey guys, so this isn't going to be one of my normal car rants. I'm actually about to be super vulnerable and honest with y'all for a moment. So I recently have been laid off from my 9 to 5 job. I've been taking some time to myself to really just process everything. I've only told all of my close friends and my family what has been going on. And it honestly made me feel better just being vulnerable and talking about the situation, because honestly, it's so common right now. Like every time I'm on this app, I always see that someone has been laid off or they quit their job or there's definitely something going on with their career. So I figured there's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. It's just the world that we're living in right now. The job market is insane. And this is just something that unfortunately some of us are going through. At first, when this happened to me, I was obviously extremely upset because it's like a rug is pulled underneath you and you have to really just go into survival mode because, you know, you have bills to pay. Everyone needs stability. But lately, I have been looking at it also as a blessing in disguise, because for the longest time, I've been wanting to actually focus on my creative passions. And within the past year, I have been hating my job. Going to work every day, getting up and doing what I was doing just felt like I was so far away from my purpose and what I was meant to actually do. So I'm going to take this time to actually find clarity. I've been wanting to work on my creative passions for quite some time now. I've been wanting to take content creation a bit more seriously, continue building a platform for myself. And I couldn't do that working my 9 to 5 because it was so demanding and tedious. But now I have all the time in the world. Sometimes God will remove something out of your life that's not meant for you, and he's going to place you where you're meant to be. And like God knew that my time was up there. My season had passed at that specific job. Now he's guiding me as to where I should go. Until next time, bye.
Okay, I'm definitely seeing a trend on these videos, at least these ones today, of everybody, I guess, trying to be more on their creative side. So, hey, I got nothing against you wanting to be more your creative side, but it's definitely a grind. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that. I'm not saying these people don't realize this, but I don't think a lot of people realize that you can't just start up a YouTube channel. Like, most people aren't going to start up a YouTube channel and just get 100,000 followers, get 1 million followers, just like that. It's definitely gonna be a grind. So if you're willing to, put in that time and that effort, you can do well. But you had to put in that time and that effort. Sometimes you got to be there in the right time in the right place. Maybe you're talking about something that just new, fresh, you can get in. But if you're talking about the same stuff or doing the same stuff that you see other people doing, and you're not putting your own spin on it, it can hide. You can definitely be wasting a lot of your time. Now, that does suck that she also lost her job too. Again, everybody's getting laid off. Her being laid off, she said she did not like the job. I guess with taxing very hard, she didn't like waking up every day for that type of job. So yeah, this can be a good time for your refresh. That sucks that your job was feeling that way. And it would have been better to start applying to jobs while you were still there. I'm just being straight up. If you were working here, I don't know how long, I forgot how long she said, but if it's that taxing, that is a great time while you still have a job, you're still making all this money or how much money you're making, to then transition to another job versus just staying there and just taking it for years on years on years. And then when you get laid off, then start looking for another job. It's harder when you don't have a job, when you're trying to apply to a job versus you already having one. So it's already too late for her on that, on that end. She does want to be on the creative side. She didn't explain further on what type of creativeness she's going to be doing. Is it going to be social media related, art related, whatnot? I don't know if something that she's been doing in the past, maybe before she got this job, that she want to continue. She didn't go into details on that, so I can't really give a comment on it, like how likely I think that will happen. But I do wish her the best of luck on that. And yeah, this is a refresh time. Still be applying to jobs though. Definitely still recommend applying to jobs. Don't just chillax and hope that another job will come real quick, because we've seen on this channel, we've went over people who have been applying for months, if not not years, maybe a year is a month, but several months before they even got a job, and they had experience. And she may be wanting to work in a completely new field, so it can take you a long time. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you're still applying to jobs while you're still working on your creative craft. And yeah, hopefully not in the same position like your current job. Let's go ahead and play the next video.
A really interesting lesson that I learned when I got laid off was that none of this really matters that much. When I was working at the job that I got laid off at, I cared so much and put so much of my heart and soul into it. I would get so worked up over things. And, I think we all fall into this trap of getting so stressed about the interpersonal conversations and, wanting to do more projects and going above and beyond and just losing sight of the fact of like, it is a job. And obviously we all wake up and want to do the best work that we can. And we all generally try our best. But I just learned so much from that experience because I worked so hard. And then the result was I got laid off. And so I think it's rewired my brain, thankfully, that now I work still so hard. I care still so much. And I try my very best every day. But at the end of the day, when I log off, I'm off. And if things happen during the workday that maybe are frustrating for me or whatnot, I just kind of am like, all right, it'll figure its way out. No big deal. Let me, talk to someone else or do this. And I don't know. So I'm just very thankful overall that being laid off, and a lot of you can probably relate because it's kind of rough out there. It was so stressful and just really not a good time. The silver lining was that it got me to have a new perspective on it. So for those of you that are going through it, it will get better and you will end up finding hopefully a place that you really enjoy and that it all just kind of makes sense. And I hate to say things happen for a reason, but sometimes that's just how it works out. So hopefully that can inspire someone maybe scrolling, just wondering how the heck they're going to get through all this.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was pretty good. I think she talked about it like a good point. I guess the part that probably sucks the most of like losing your job like this is that you put in all that time. You put in all that time and hopefully some hard work. And then just to see it vanish, it can suck. It's like, dang, I really spent X amount of time on this. I probably spent nights thinking about this job or thinking about this project. And then bam, something like this happens, which sucks. Hopefully, like you said, there's a reason for things, and you losing this job does not necessarily mean your whole life is going to be over. You can still keep on grinding. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully you can get another job that's even better and that you really like and that you don't have to worry about, because then you're at an even better position. But yeah. Do wish her the best of luck as well. And if you're scrolling and you happen to see this video here, and somehow watch all the way to here, don't give up on yourself. Really don't give up on yourself. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. You're like, oh, this person got lucky and this person got this, and then they just start giving up on themselves and not really applying themselves anymore. If you keep on grinding and believing in yourself while you're still grinding, upskilling yourself, still making those steps to improve, I think you will have a higher chance versus you just giving up and not even trying to make it to the next step. And now let's go ahead and play this last video real quick.
Shitty things about being laid off. But one really shitty thing is how much it really knocks your confidence. I've been laid off multiple times, and therefore my professional confidence is just like trashed. When I started my career, I moved to New York. I was, of course, nervous, but I was fairly confident and I was good really quick at my first job. And then since then, I've just been getting rocked by the industry. And as a result, I just feel like an idiot in any job that I'm in, even if I know what I'm doing. We just had a team meeting. It happens every quarter where you review your results from last quarter and then talk about what you are committing to as far as deals closed for this current quarter. So I'm new, so I didn't have to look back, but of course I had to kind of make commitments of what I'm going to close this quarter. And I think that I did well, but I just question myself. And I'm always like, are people pinging about how stupid I am behind my back? It's part of being the new kid is that you feel like you don't have those relationships with people. So everything just makes you second guess yourself. Thankfully, I'm meeting my team in person next week, and I think that will help. But I can't wait to get through this stage of not feeling confident, needing to ask questions for literally everything, getting things wrong, not having the internal relationships built. I'm really happy with the role that I got and at the company that I got it at, but I can't wait to get through this period. If you're in the same position, I've started new jobs many times, you just got to go through this. It sucks for the first couple of months. And then eventually you look up one day and you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
Hey, I think that's a good ending for this. I think that's a good ending for this. Somebody who has, recently got a new job about 7 months ago in tech, or I'm not in tech, in cybersecurity, which was different than what I was kind of, what I was doing. Yeah, the first few months can definitely be different. Can definitely be hard. You can feel super dumb. But yeah, after a while, it's like it starts like it'll click. And it's like, oh wow, I got this. And you depending on how many different jobs you've been laid off on and applying to new jobs and new fields, especially if you get laid off before you really get used to the job, it can be like, dang, I'm gonna never get used to this type of job or XYZ. But I'm not gonna say for everybody, but I feel like if you're smart enough, or at least if you do it long enough, you can get good, or at least you'll be at a place that it doesn't feel like it's extremely hard or extremely daunting every single day you get there, But anyway, I think that was a good ending right there. I think she gave some good advice, but also kind of to talk about, like the feelings that people actually feel like, they're losing a job and applying somewhere else, kind of just feeling like off compared to everybody else, feeling dumber than everybody else at the job. But once it clicks, it can definitely click. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.